What's up, killers? It's Brendan, and today we're gonna make a badass trip.
Wait a minute, get it how you live it. 10 toes in when we standing on business. I'm a big stepper, underground methods, top-notch hoes.
Sales tax? I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Rolling through the city with the big dogs. Fuck the laws, loyal with me, we ain't got a cow.
Money on my mind, we gon' run it up.
I work at the Elliott Group, obviously, for Andy Elliott. We have a badass client. His name's Eric Klein. Badass motherfucker. You know, was a drug addict at 28 years old, gets clean, moves to Fort Lauderdale, builds a 9-figure timeshare exit company for the next decade of his life, then gets sued by Wall Street, goes back to zero. This was about 4 years ago. And then built a $9 million wholesale business, wholesaling real estate. So me and Eric met about 6 months ago. I'd been communicating with him, reaching out to him for 2 years. I found his stuff on Instagram. Badass dude. Immediately recognized, like, you know, he's going to be a great coach. He's going to be a killer. He's going to have a huge brand, change lots of lives and stuff like that. So about 6 months ago, we linked up and he reaches out to me and he says, hey man, look, in the past 3 years, I've done $9 million in assignment fees in the wholesale real estate space. I'm doing coaching on the side right now, but I want to go full time and I want to build something similar to what you and Andy have created at the Elliott Group. So he flew out here to spend some time with us. We built out this badass game plan. We said, dude, we're literally going to make the Elliott Group 2.0 with your company, building a wholesale real estate coaching company. And sure enough, Eric's an action taker, super coachable. We're in Fountain Hills right now at the Elliott Group headquarters, 70,000 square foot conference room, and we're just growing it every single day. But we're about to shoot over to Scottsdale, about 15 minutes down the road, to Eric's office. It's about 10,000 square foot. He's got a sales team. He's got about 5 guys right now. I'm gonna go talk to their team, train them a little bit, teach them how to change people's lives, teach them a little bit about inward things, about what we're doing to grow our company, the 9-figure framework. He's gonna show me his office. We're gonna kick some ass. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna hop in the car, run over to Scottsdale, and we're gonna rip some badass training. Let's go.
Just knowing the difference between clients that you should really be paying attention to, like as far as like their energy and the way they perceive things.
Yeah.
It kind of throws you off a little bit. Like, how do you deal with that?
Well, the first thing that throws me off about a client is when they're not responsive. Like when they're just flaky in their decision making. If someone's like reaching out for, let's say it's an event or a course or whatever it is, and then they're like, all right, bro, yeah, I'm in, dude, I'm in, I promise that. Yeah, like call me at 2 p.m. If I call them at 2 p.m. and I don't hear back, I might accept that maybe once, you know, they had something come up that was unexpected. But if like that happens twice, I'll literally tell somebody, I'm like, bro, please do me a favor and don't come to the event. Like, you need to mature a little bit first. Because like that's just a sign of like a bad client experience is going to happen. Because there's been a lot of times where there's like flaky people like that who like plug in, unplug, plug back in. And then whenever I'm coaching them, they don't answer either. You know what I mean? It's a fucking big red flag for me, bro.
What do you think the difference is between customer service, right?
Yeah.
And customer experience? Do you think there's a difference?
I mean, to me, customer service just means servicing the account, handling requests, concerns, questions, things like that.
Like an order taker?
Yeah. And then customer experience to me is more like the overall experience, your responsiveness, like how you rate that, how well your customer service is. Customer experience is like your rating of your customer service. Really, customer experience is fucking everything, bro. That's my secret, is I'm like so fucking crazy about over delivering that like people like Eric, bro, they freak out at like what I'm willing to do to help their company grow.
Does that set you apart from other coaches?
Oh my God, bro, yeah. Like,
why does it separate you so?
Well, when you over deliver, it helps you close because you have a lot more certainty, because you know for sure that whatever you close that person on, whatever you promise is going to get delivered and then some. And once you have like a handful of testimonials, like the level of testimonial we have from like Eric and a couple other the guys I worked with, you're so certain that in your ability to get people results that they can feel it when you're closing them, and they're like, dude, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. But also like referrals are massive. Like I always tell people, because I go so hard to help my clients, that I could probably call 50 people right now and they'd wire me $100,000 if I asked for it. I could literally say, hey bro, there's no product. It's just like, I need $100,000 to hit a bonus. Can you wire me $100,000? And I got 50 people that would probably do it. I would never do that because there would be nothing in it for them. Unless there's something in it for the client, I don't even offer a product. But the point of that is I have given all my accounts so much service that the amount of service and value they've received versus what they paid, they feel forever indebted to me. Does that make sense?
Hell yeah.
So I always have that in case I need it. Like I have that card where I can be like, bro, I need a favor. Like anytime I need a favor, whether it's like shout out on social media, testimonial, whatever it may be. If I call one of my clients I'm really close with, they're like, done, bro. Say less. They're like, you don't even got to ask me twice. What do you need me to say? What do you need me to do? Whatever it is. But those two combined are just fucking powerful. Like the amount of referrals I've gotten from Eric, from Connor, from all these people, like it's crazy. And what's cool is when I'm working a deal and they reach out to Eric without asking me and they're like, bro, called Eric and he said, I'm a retard for not doing business with you. So I figured I'd call you back and sign up for that deal we talked about. That's the level of experience I'm trying to deliver. All right, what's up, killers? So we are on the way to Eric Klein's office. Eric is like probably one of our greatest testimonials at the Elliott Group. He's literally probably the most coachable individual that I've met in a very, very long time. And we're helping him build this big coaching program right now. You'll see when we get to his office, he's building Elliott Group 2.0 with the Eric Klein brand. And dude, what he's doing is just amazing. The guy's got a heart of gold. He's an underdog. He's headed the exact same direction that the Elliott Group's headed. And he has the same good intentions, which is what I love most about him. He's got really good intentions. He wants to help people. You know, he sold a business in wholesaling that was already really profitable and making him a lot of money. But what he likes to do full time is change people's lives. So that's why we're going to see his office today. I've never been to his office before, never seen it. He's going to give us a little tour today. We're going to check it out. And we're going to talk to his team a little bit, dude, help him build his team. You know, teach these guys the ways of the Elliott Group, the system we use to generate 9 figures in revenue a year, like how we create a great customer experience, how we acquire new clients, how we're attracting like some of the most badass just business owners and brands out there. So gonna be a lot of fun, dog. We gonna kill it.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
There's Elliott Klein. Dude, this is sick. I've never been here.
Welcome. No, it's great.
Yeah, I love it.
Love it. See, come check out Eric's office.
Bro.
So Florida, and then what's your main market in Florida?
Dude, look at this freaking desk, bro.
Central.
All types of cameras on you.
Oh, dude. Perfect.
So you're gonna train the guys?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's
Do a little training, bro.
What you do, right?
Nah. And the thing is, like with where he's gonna go, right now the highest product is 10 grand. But with where his brand's going, you need to stay in contact with everybody, even if you feel like they're at the finish line after they spend 10. That's not the finish line. That's like the start. Because if you nurture that guy on 10 and he feels like he got 50 grand for 10, whenever we launch a $40,000 product, you won't even have to make any new calls. You'll hit up all your elite members. You got 100 of them and sell half of them a $40,000 package. And you won't even have to close them. You'll say, bro, Eric's got a package that's 40 grand. They'll say, down, I'll wire it tomorrow.
We don't have a board in there.
We're good. No board necessary.
He said no board.
No board necessary.
Fuck a
boys.
board. Fuck a board.
Fuck a board.
Pen and paper, motherfucker. I'm not even talking. Eric will never accept gifts from me.
I can get that.
I told him the other day, I was like, bro, I'll cover some ad spend just to freaking promote this event. He's like, get fucked. All right, so Jude, Jarrett Brown, Mitchell, and Mr. Matthew. So we're gonna, like Eric, and you can kind of like just explain this to him, right? But we're building the Elliott Group 2.0 in this office. That's the goal. So what I wanted to do was, like, I've been with Andy for 3 years now, going on 3 years. And when I showed up, like, and I know all of you guys are in a little bit different spots financially, mentally, whatever, however you look at this opportunity. But dude, when I showed up, I'd sold cars for a couple of years. I was a product of Andy's training, right? But I had probably 40, 50 grand in the bank. I got out of my lease I was in back in Illinois. I got a place out here. I moved me and my girlfriend across the country. First month I made $0, like maybe $200. But working for Andy, yeah. And I got out there and I didn't even ask the pay plan. I had no clue what it was until like my 3rd week there. I started selling these $99 memberships. And maybe you guys can relate, because the hardest thing with this, the hardest part about a coaching program is like the vision. Because when you're sitting there and you're calling $198 leads, like you're trying to sell the Go Gang for $198, instead of focusing on changing somebody's life, you're so focused on, well, this only pays 20%, that's $40. How am I going to pay my bills if it takes me 30 minutes to close one of these and I never even close them, right? So that was me. I moved out here in my first 3 weeks. I was like, finally one day I had like $5,000 up revenue in 3 weeks, and I went up to Andy. I was like, what's the pay plan? Because I got rent I got to pay and shit like that. And dude, for a minute, I panicked because I was like, how am I going to ever make this work? But what I started to realize, bro, is like this opportunity is the most scalable, most insane business model you've ever seen in your entire life. But you have to be a motherfucking savage. Like you got to become a fucking savage. That's like the number one thing. So, and I know this sounds crazy because like for you guys, like you might think this is a phone sales job. This is a job where you call people, and the slicker you are, the more money you're going to make and you're going to be cool. But this is like a self-development journey that's everything about you changes like for the rest of your life, because you can learn the word tracks. You can study whatever trainer you want to study, whatever sales process you want to use. You can say all the right words, but if you're not the person that they want to be like, they're not going to buy. And that's just the plain simple truth. So you have to focus on becoming the person that you want to be, right? So let's do simple math, because like I want to inspire you guys, and I'm not here to like, be arrogant or anything like that. I want to inspire you guys and tell you guys that after my first month, I made $200, and right now our top earners in the Elliott Group make 7 figures a year. There's more than a handful.
Yeah, and he went from making $200 a month to he is the top guy at Elliott's office. Let's not get it fucking twisted. He may not say it, but like last month, he was the guy. They refer to him in the office right now as the guy. Yeah. And yesterday, the twins, which have been with Andy since, which they've been with Andy longer than anybody. Yeah. And they said when he walked through the door, they were like, he had no fucking confidence, right? Yeah. Comes from the Midwest. And disadvantage, by the way. I'm just kidding. Huh? Just kidding. Yeah, but he was slinging cars in the Midwest, doing all right. Mm-hmm. But when he showed up, like they said, they were like, fuck, this dude was like, he needed a lot of work. I looked Amish. I had a beard, and it was a really weird one. It was a neck beard. And the first thing Andy says, he's like, you got to shave that beard. I had a hard time with that. But yeah, so to bounce off that, right? The earning opportunity is crazy, bro. Yeah. And like there's a couple things that's going to be really cool about this. So the person you're going to become, and I would write this down because this is where we'll start. Like this would be my 3 primary focuses. The person you're going to become, the people you're going to help, and then the financial reward, which is the last one, but is also going to come if you focus on these first 2, right? So every detail matters, right? Like one thing that we have to make sure is very important, because we have this October event coming up, right? We have to onboard our customers the right way. So like, I think that while we're in here, we should come up with some sort of creed for everybody to say, like, we need a creed, right? Yes. And you guys all have to play your part, because if Jarrett decides to bring a guy in from Scottsdale, let's say Jarrett gets a lead and the guy's like, yeah, man, I'm 28, I live in Scottsdale, I'm a real estate investor, I'm making about $50,000 a month, and I'm looking to work with Eric, right? I'm looking to build a wholesale operation like Eric Klein. That guy, you don't go, hey bro, join our elite program, let's go. You go, dude, I know what we need to do. How big are you wanting to go? And do you want to turn decades into days? Do you want to do what Eric did in 3 years? Do you want to learn how to do it in 6 months? Okay, cool. I know what we need to do. Eric's going to be in the office tomorrow. I want to bring you by for a tour so you can see our building and know that we're not just fake gurus. We have a real business with a real building, with real people, and we're changing lives all day long. What time can you come by, right? Bring the guy by. Now, it's Jarrett's client. But if he walks in and Matthew goes, what's up, bro? What are you doing, man? How you doing? The guy's like, what the fuck is this? Like, why is everybody so nice to me? Why is the culture like this? That increases Jarrett's income, but it's also going to increase your income, because Jarrett's going to onboard that guy. We're going to take that guy to 8 million plus in 3 years. And then you have that testimonial that you can tell your clients, and it just stacks the
goodwill of the company. It stacks the results that we deliver our clients. It raises the standard of the whole company. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like I want all of you guys to just understand that like taking ownership of this thing is so important. That is what will help you raise all your income. Like even if you think that like even if you just want to go by yourself and focus on making your own money, if you treat this place like it's your own business, all of you will make way more money. But person you'll become, the people you're going to help. What I love about coaching is that like when I did wholesale real estate, like let's be honest, and if any of you guys ever quit and go back to wholesaling or whatever you do, you'll feel this empty void in your heart from leaving this job behind, right? So when I sold cars, I'm gonna be honest with you, like if you were to buy a car from me, my goal was to steal your trade-in and convince you that $850 a month for a Kia Forte was a smart business decision. And I was good at it too. But I made money and I had good intentions for people, and all I wanted to do was take care of my family and I just wanted to be successful. I wanted to look in the mirror and like who I was. That's all I wanted to do. So I don't feel bad about any deals I ever did. But I feel way better when I sell somebody a product of ours for $50,000 and I know I'm changing their life. I feel 100 times better. I've never, I'll get into delivery, but I've never once sold a product for Andy and I've felt bad about it. Even if they took a credit card or a business loan to pay for it. Even if it was a business loan or a credit card, I don't feel bad at all. They're like, bro, are you sure I should do this? Like I'm 19, I'm putting $5K on a credit card. Yes, bro, because you're broke and you're around broke people. And if you don't switch up your circle, you're gonna stay broke. You know what I mean? Like if a guy has 10 grand in the bank, does he need to invest that into the stock market so that it grows at 10% a year for the next 50 years? Or does he need to invest that in the elite program so he can make 100 grand a month? You see what I mean? So sleeping good is really important to me, by the way. Like impact is everything, because if you can really if you can tap into your heart when you're selling, you will close everybody. I promise you. You don't even need to be good at sales. Yep. The worst salesperson in here could be the highest paid person in the company. Because I would say that there's people more skilled at the Elliott Group than me in a lot of areas. You know, I'm not the most ripped. I don't look like I'm blasting test 3 times a day. I don't stand out very, very much at all. But what I do is I care so much. I will pour my heart into somebody to try to help them. And I've never changed. Even my first month, Jarrett is a perfect example. I talked to him for an hour on the phone, my first month working for Andy. And how was that call? Like, just describe to him what that call was like.
It's funny, I was actually talking to you about it earlier. I was like, it was a little rough. And I'm on this call with him and I'm like, who the fuck is this kid? How old is this guy? Why is he talking to me? I want to talk to Andy. Yeah. And then I'm sitting there going through it, but he started pressing me and he was like, you know you're going to sign up for it, right? And I already had it. I made it up in my mind that I was going to sign up for it. But I wanted to tell him no. So I told him no. And he just stopped and he was like, okay, man. So, like, you're going to call back? No, you're not, dude. You're going to do this right now. You've already been thinking about it. Like, stop wasting your time and start the training. You reached out for a reason. It's 100% right. I knew in my head, I told Gil, my wife, that I was signing up for this. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to do this training program. I have no idea what it's going to cost, but I'm going to do it. And I told her that, and I knew it. But I wanted to tell him no, and then he pressed, and I was like, all right, cool, let's go. I got the card on me. Yeah.
And I'll tell you what's crazy, right? So first of all, I looped and I looped and I looped until I got a yes. Like I never quit. And I probably told him at some point, like, bro, I'm not quitting on you.
Yeah.
Because imagine where he would be right now if he hadn't done it. 3 years ago, and to who you are now, this guy looked like the Cookie Monster. No shit. Like you should show him your pictures. But yeah, and another thing that I'll say off that is like I think you paid $400 or $500 or whatever it was.
It was $5.99. Don't cheat me out too much.
There we go. All right, good. He paid $5.99, and I sat on the phone with him for an hour. So another thing we got to remember is like I would write this down. This is going to be an affirmation. This is just literally a thought process you got to live by. We solve big problems and we solve small problems. We solve every problem. We can solve every problem. Eric, listen, Mr. Customer. Eric can solve every one of your problems, big or small. You tell me what you're trying to do, and I'll tell you how Eric is going to help you get there. And what's going to excite you about this journey with Eric is he's going to help you turn decades into days.
I love that.
Do you know what that means? That means that Eric's been on the phone for 15 years building $1 million companies, and he will teach you what took him 15 years to learn in 90 days. Do you want those kind of results? Okay. Well, you're going to like what I'm going to tell you next. You guys like that shit?
That was good.
Come on, let's go. That's my serenade. That's how I serenade people.
He did. I forgot, but yeah.
That one. That's how I took Jared out.
He's like, "Come on, you gotta do it."
Yeah.
Come on.
But the whole point of that is big or small problems, we solve them. Like, so, you know, I watch all the data, and I see that like we're not selling the Go Gang. We're not selling the new course that Eric built, which is the best course he's probably ever made, right? No matter who the customer is, like you gotta try to get everybody committed to a program. Every single person. Because those 198s, not just for the customer's sake, because imagine if Jarrett would have told me no, I'd have been like, all right, bro, sounds good, man. Have a good one. Back to mediocrity we go.
Yep.
And then I never hear from you again. Maybe 6 months, 12 months later, but that typically doesn't happen. That's a 1% chance anyway. But if we sell them a 198, I have a client that literally has paid well over multiple six figures to the Elliott Group, and he's a 21-year-old kid, and I sold him a $599 course 2 years ago. And that started from that what could be that Go Gang membership, right? So when we talk about building your pipeline, small problems, big problems, we want to stack it as far as we can. Like I'm a long-term thinker, right? So the way that I like got to number one on the board is I used to tell the twins, I'd be like, bro, you're fucked. I'd tell them that. I've been telling them that for the past year. And you know why? Because I was selling the low ticket products, and I knew that like I was slowly taking these guys from a seminar to a mastermind, a seminar to a mastermind, a Go Gang to an elite program to a private coaching $50,000 a year deal. So I'd say to the twins, I'd be like, dude, you're fucked, bro. I'm getting close, dude. I've been planting those seeds, and they're about to freaking start rising, bro. And then last month, they're like, what the fuck? How'd you gap me? Well, bro, it's the pipeline, dude. It's because even no matter what problem they have, as long as they commit to a product, we're gonna solve their problem. All like Eric would agree that all he needs is the opportunity to change somebody's life. That's all he needs, right?
Yep.
You need someone on the Go, like, and how many people are showing up on the Go Gang calls right now?
15 to 20.
We should have like 200, 300, 500 people on.
Couldn't agree more.
And if we had that, do you know what that does to all your guys' income? Every week, it's every other week, right? Every other week?
Every other Wednesday.
Every other week, it creates a revenue opportunity for you where he goes through and at the end of the call, he's like, oh, dude, everybody on this call needs my A to Z program. It's on sale right now for $599 instead of $997. Call your coach that set you up, and he'll get you set up. See, because like what's good about this guy is he has an abundant heart. Like he wants you guys to be millionaires. Your last job or any sales job you've had before, Jarrett's job, their goal is to pay him as little as humanly possible for the most work, like to squeeze him.
Found that out.
And he found that out when he left. They offered him double what he was making.
Literally.
Double what he was making, right?
100%.
And his goal is for all of you guys to be the highest paid sales team that's ever existed, right? He's got his work cut out for him, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, that's the goal. So if you take care of your clients, if you take care of his clients that are also your clients, he's going to take care of you. Like if you sell a boot camp ticket, right? Like if someone sells a boot camp ticket and then they buy the rebook offer, are they going to get paid on it?
Yeah, why not?
So you guys make money if you get people to the event. Not to mention, like if that person comes to that event, they're going to change their life, and then that gives you an opportunity to bring them in here and say, hey bro, let's have a quick meeting. Like you said you wanted to come out here for XYZ goal. You want to tell me like your thoughts after the event? You feel like you want to get closer to Eric? Eric works with every quarter. Eric picks a handful of people that he wants to do really deep work with and sit down with and whiteboard out and help them build out their entire wholesale company. Do you want to be considered for that opportunity? Do you want me to get you close to Eric? Okay, sweet, bro. Let me show you what it looks like. It's $40,000, you know? So on that note, right, the pipeline and the nurture. So let's talk about this, right? We went over, you got how you feel about yourself, what you're doing for other people, and then the income you're making. Let's talk about that real quick, right? 100,000, 20% commission?
Yep, 50,
Yeah.
there's 15,
Yeah.
20 right now.
Okay. 20%, let's just do simple math, right? And I would write this down because this should be your goal to crush this. 100 grand in revenue a month at 20% is 20 grand. $250,000 at 20% is 50 grand. And $500,000 at 10% or 20% is 100 grand, 100 grand a month. So if you can do $500,000 a month, which is $6 million a year, you're a 7-figure plus earner. Showing up at this fun office right here, this freaking playground, adult playground, bro, where we just make calls and listen to Lil Baby all day. That's how crazy this is, right? So and I do this because this is like the only thing that's going to stop any of you guys is like the limiting beliefs. Because going back to what we said, you make these calls and you're talking to these 198s, and you're like, how the fuck am I going to hit $500,000? Well, if you every single person that raises their hand and says, I want to change my life in wholesaling real estate, if you just take the rock and you turn it over and you figure out what it is and you don't like disqualify them just because you don't feel like they have a lot of money, you're gonna, every once in a while, you're gonna run into a guy who's gonna pay you 100 grand plus. Every once in a while. But you gotta like, God's only gonna give you those type of clients if you're taking care of everybody you talk to. You know what I mean? If you talk to the guy who's like, man, I got $1,000 but I love Eric and I really want to be involved in your program. And you're like, all right, bro, have a good day. I'll send you a YouTube video. Well, now like that guy could have known somebody who wanted to be a part of a bigger program, or that could have given you momentum to go help change somebody else's life. That could have been a good testimonial you could have posted online that would have attracted another client. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Every freaking deal matters. And let's talk about this. You have the elite program. It's $10,000. How many of those you got to sell a month to hit 500 grand? Or let's say $250,000 and you're making 600 grand a year. 25 a month. So that's one a day.
Yep.
Can everybody sell one elite program a day?
Yeah, very doable.
250 grand, 20%, 50,000 a month, 600 grand a year for selling one elite program. Yeah, you got one job. Show up, sell one elite program a day for $10,000.
Literally.
And I'll tell you this, you guys have a strategic advantage over the Elliott Group because I talk to a very wide variety of people, but we started out selling to the automotive industry. They have very small pockets. They're not trained to spend money on themselves. And so like our products were $99 to $5,000 max. If I sold a $5,000 product my first couple months, I was like, all right, baby, we're going to get a nice dinner tonight. We're going to ball out of control. We're going to Scottsdale tonight. You know what I'm saying? But with you guys, people, me and Eric had this conversation before. People understand when they get into wholesale real estate that they need a fucking mentor bad. Like they don't like ARVs. One mistake, and here's another thing for you to say on the phone. It's not about what the program costs. It's about what it costs not to have the program. There's a lot of people. You have, Mr. Customer, you have no idea how many people have called in and how expensive mistakes in real estate can be without the right guidance. But on the other hand, how profitable it can be with the right mentor. See, it's like a combo. It's like you gotta have a heart, like be tapped into your heart. You gotta understand like the strategies and the mindset, but also like the word tracks will help a little bit.
Course.
The word tracks are gonna close some deals with the right intentions, right?
Yeah.
So one elite program a day, two a day, because let's say you get weekends off, you work 5 days a week, you work 25 days a month, you sell 2 elite programs a day, that's 500 grand a month, right? in revenue. Now you're making $1 million plus showing up here and just doing that. So let's talk about, I'll run you guys through like the skills you need, the skills to focus on. So the number one skill, I'll have one of you guys like guess, like everybody guess. What do you guys think the number one skill? Because like we got a handful of people that are doing the 500 grand a month plus, including me last month. I broke a record in the company for revenue, right?
What'd you do?
What would you say? North of 500. What would you guys say is the most important skill?
Building a relationship. Your work ethic.
I'll tell you what I think it is.
Self-development.
I think the number one skill is intuition.
Intuition.
I think it's knowing what they need, like hearing what they say, but knowing what it means behind what they say. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because here's what's going to happen on these sales calls. This is the fast way to do zero revenue. Hey, bro, what made you reach out to Eric? Well, man, I want to learn how to wholesale real estate. Okay, cool. Well, Eric's Elite program will teach you how to wholesale real estate. It's $10,000. What car do you want to put it on? Man, I don't know if I want to do it yet. See what I mean? That's you playing chess. I move, you move. I move, you move. I move, you move. Chess is like this. What made you reach out to Eric's program, bro? Man, I want to learn how to wholesale real estate. Dude, why do you want to learn how to wholesale real estate? You know what wholesaling real estate allowed Eric to do? After he lost his company, he built back to a multi-million-dollar income in 3 years. Do you know what kind of impact that had on his family, his wife, his kids? Do you have wife and kids? How would that affect your family? How would your family feel if you're able to go do that? Is that what you want to do? Okay, tell me about that. What's it been like? You said you're working at a car lot making 80 grand a year. I know a lot of guys in the car business. We're partnered with Andy Elliott. They hate it. They work 80 hours a week. How's that been like for you? Okay, dude, I want to ask you this. I will tell you about the program, but Eric wants serious, committed players. You can do this remotely and make $100,000 a month. But I want to know, how serious are you? Do you have that dog in you? Or are you a little freaking baby seal? What kind of impact are you looking to make on your kids and your family? How fired up are you 1 through 10 to win? See what I mean? Is that a little bit different than like the first conversation? That's the difference between a Grant Cardone conversation and a fucking actually impacting somebody's life conversation. That guy will actually show up on the calls because you reminded him why he called in. He didn't even know why he called in. Like, he doesn't even know why he's watching the YouTube videos. He's watching them because he thinks he wants to wholesale real estate, but really he hates who he is, and his kids don't look up to him, and he's tired of being broke, and he's embarrassed, and he feels like the person he wanted to be when he was a kid, he's not fulfilling that person. Does that make sense?
100%.
So intuition means that, because here's the thing, if you have good intuition, you're also going to know when someone says they have a $99 problem that they have a $100,000 problem. That's another big thing. And that's why the culture and the way you guys greet people and like every detail about this office is so important, because people need to know that this is about more than just wholesaling real estate. That's the thing, right? Like, they need to know that this is a hero-making machine. That's what the Eric Klein Group is a hero-making machine, right? Because if this is about wholesaling real estate, the max you'll ever get out of somebody is 10 grand, and you'll always have to deliver way more. Like, you'll have like the Elite program or whatever programs we create, we drop. They're gonna have to deliver so much time and all this shit. But if we just cultivate a good environment in here, people will just literally pay $5 grand for the VIP seat so they can hang out with Matthew Tucker, Jarrett Brown.
Literally.
They literally will, because you guys will make them a better human being, which is actually what they're looking for. They're not really looking to wholesale real estate. They don't want to talk to like homeowners all day who don't want to sell their home. They want to be like a hero for their family. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So I say that because that is the big thing. And also, so let's talk about this. So intuition is a big one. And you guys might not, like, you might be in the early stages of this, so you might not even understand what I mean when I say that. But if you put me on the phone with anybody that reaches out to you guys or anybody in our company, I will have an Elliott coach who's new TO me a call, and they'll be like, hey, this guy wants to buy. I literally had this happen last month. A new coach comes up to me and says, dude, this guy's coming in for an appointment to sit down in person. He wants to talk about our social media course, which is $1,000. That's for car sales. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if I got time to do that. He's like, dude, I swear this guy's like a freaking MLB, like, going to be an MLB player. He like wants to build this info product. I'm like, I'll talk to him. So I sit down and we close him for 50 grand, 21-year-old kid. And the guy's like, how the fuck do you do that? I'm like, dude, that guy had a way bigger problem. Like if that guy says, I want to build what Eric built, if they could pay 150 grand to learn how to build what Eric built in 3 years and do it in a year, they got a fucking steal deal.
Yep.
They should have paid 300 grand or more. They should have paid $500,000. So that's why intuition is so important, because like I sat down and you never write off a customer. Like there might be, you might have a guy, so like let's say we launched a $40,000 or $50,000 product, right? You might talk to a guy who's 30 years old, 5 kids, just got out of the military, and has never done sales in his life. And he might join the $50,000 program, which would be a great decision for him to do, to jump right over the baby shit and do the big shit.
Yep.
But if you don't ask that guy, if you don't figure out, get close enough to that guy to realize he's got a savings account with 300 grand, and you would have never known. You would have thought he was broke based on all the other factors. But if you can tell when you're talking to someone who's mature, then you'll know where to go with them, and you'll know not to sell them some baby shit that's just gonna require all this extra work that doesn't even need to be necessary, right? So next one would be relationship building, I would say. And I'll tell you what that means, right? So if like Eric brought a guy named Don to the office yesterday to meet me, right? And he's like, dude, you got to meet this guy. And anybody Eric refers me, I'm like, bro, I'm there. Let's go. I'll go meet him. So that guy, like we discovered as he visited the den that he is making a lot of money, but he has a better version of himself too. Mm-hmm. Like even these guys that are making a lot of money, they still have pain. They're still human beings, right? So that guy is a good relationship for me. Like here's the thing. Like I said, I'm a long-term player, and all my clients that are older, that are wise, they understand. Like Eric knows I'm a long-term player. He does. Like Eric knows I'm not transactional. That's why we get along very great, because he knows I'm in it for the long term. Like I don't want a quick hit. I don't want a big sale. I want a long-term, badass relationship that's a win-win scenario. So when I meet a guy that I know is going to be a good long-term relationship, I have a big-ass notebook that I put every name in. I'm like, Eric Klein, Don, Tony, Savage. And I'm like, I put these names in a note stored away, and I go, I am going to nurture these relationships. I'm going to make these people have the greatest customer experience that's ever been invented inside of the Elliott Group. I'm going to personally make sure that happens. Do everything in my power to. That means I'm going to send them gifts. I'm going to provide them value. I'm going to pay attention to what they're doing on social media. I'm going to send them referrals. And that doesn't necessarily pay off. Sometimes it pays off in the short term. It's paid off for me in the short term a lot in a lot of cases. Because a lot of people want to jump right into doing business with you when they see a good business owner, someone who's going to actually end up spending a lot of money with you. When they see that you're that kind of person, they're more inclined to do business with you. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Eric picked up early on that I was not a young douchebag who just wanted to sell shit. Like he could realize that, like, hey, I plan on working with the Elliott Group till I die. I don't drink, party, smoke. I don't do anything. I'm literally focused on creating human excellence. So that makes him more inclined to do business with me, right? But I store all these relationships and I stack them, and that's how you build your pipeline. Is over and over again. Like it starts with one name, one client, and then it becomes 50, and then 100, and then before long you have 1,000 people in your contacts. You could call with any good business opportunity that's going to be a win-win for you guys, and they'll say, dude, sign me up, bro. I'm game. Let's go right now. And once you have that, you're gonna smoke everybody's ass, bro. Like everybody's fucked. The guy who does the long-term play, the guy who sees the bigger picture here, will beat everybody. And that guy knows how to give value. Value can be very simple. Value could be like a referral. It could be like hopping on a phone call. I would say the most important thing is like being responsive to your clients. So I'd write that down. Be responsive to my clients. If your client reaches out, it's okay. Let's talk about this for a second too. And I'm all over the place, but I'm just giving you guys all the game. I want to give you all the game. So being responsive means this. If you sell someone an elite program, right? The first like 24 to 48 hours is very important. Hey bro, I can't log into my website. A young guy who doesn't understand the game will put that off. He'll go, oh, I'll text that guy back at 8 p.m. because I got to make calls right now. I got to put up revenue. And a pro will go, let me handle this right now. Hey, Shyla, this guy can't log in. Can we get him fixed? All right, bro, I got you, man. Enjoy. You freaking crushing it? You still ready to kill it? All right, cool. That's a deposit. That guy paid you 10 grand. And now you got to deliver. You're in delivery mode. Now it's like doing that alone just gave him reassurance that doing business with you was the right move, right? So every time someone reaches out with an issue or response, you got to be like quick. You got to be razor sharp with your responses. Because see, if you think short term, you're like, okay, I sold the elite program. Now he's good. Dude, that guy will buy that guy paid you 10 grand. You think if he gave you 10 grand, it was all the money he ever had in his bank account? Like I wouldn't give you 10 grand if it was the only thing I had in my account. You know what I mean? It's like that guy will spend more money, but he needs to know now that you can give him a return. As long as it generates a return, they're in, right? Yep. So intuition, relationships. Let's talk about like the sales process really quick. You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so I'll break down like the way that we sell, because this is super important. Because one thing I definitely want you guys to understand is, so let's talk about the relationship, right? You have to have maturity. Maturity is super important. I'd write that down too. Maturity is important because here's the thing. Who's gonna spend 100,000 plus with you guys? Not an 18-year-old kid, right? Maybe, but who's most of the time statistically, who's gonna pay you guys 100 grand plus? It's not gonna be an 18-year-old kid, and it's not gonna be a 30-year-old who has just gotten off of drugs and like it's not gonna be Eric when he was 28. It's gonna be Eric at 43. Does that make sense? So if you want to appear to be the ideal coach for that ideal client, you've got to become that person. They can't sense that you're a punk. If you come off on the phone like you're a punk, they're gonna be like, where's Eric at? Can I just talk to Eric? Like, cause you give me no value. But if you hop on the phone and you're sharp and they can tell like, dude, this guy's a fucking killer. Like this guy seems like he's good to have in my network. Then they're gonna stay on the phone with you. And those clients, the ones that are more mature, you want to figure out very quick in the call who you're talking to, right? You don't want to be like it's okay to call somebody, even a business owner, and be like, what up, big dog? But you don't want to be like, come on, man, grab the sack, right? To a freaking 43-year-old, right? Who's making 10 times whatever you're making, right? But you can definitely say that to an 18-year-old and it works really good.
Yep.
That's a good word track, right? That goes back to like intuition, like knowing who to talk to, knowing who's on the other line. So for me, here's our sales process. It's like 6 steps. So it's intro, relationship, move, present.
You say move?
Yep, move. Present, close, and fulfill. And like I'll tell you how this works. So when I do the intro, the first thing I'm focused on is like massive energy. Like there are some people out there who say you should call your client and be like, what's up, man? It's just Matt. You got to be in alignment with the brand. I don't think Eric would ever call one of his customers and be like, oh, what's up, man? It's just Eric Klein. Right. I don't think so. Same thing with me. If I called one of Andy's, if someone texts Andy, I'm ready to fucking come out to a seminar, and I called him, hey, Matt, it's just Brendan, Andy's right-hand man. I'm a fucking pussy. No, I call him and I'm like, Tony, what's up, dude? What are you doing, man? Andy just gave me your number and asked me to reach out. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And if they hit me back and they're like more introverted and lower energy and they're like, oh man, it's Tony. What's up, man? I kind of tone it back a little bit, but I always want to agree with authority. So I want to agree with authority and energy and familiarity.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Where's the balance between like, I don't know, I've always heard of the sales tactic of like matching their energy, but then Eric was talking in the meeting this morning, he was like, they're reaching out, which I was like, yeah, I've never even thought about that.
Yep.
Because they like my energy. You need to match that energy, but like you said, with some people who are on the phone, they're like, yeah, I just wanted to hear more about it. Like, do you do tone it down a little bit? Like,
Yeah,
so you're not like putting them on blast. We're like, holy shit.
So here's what I'll do in that scenario, right? I call the guy, Jarrett, what's going on, dude? It's Brendan from Eric Klein's office. I just saw you texted Eric. He gave me your number. He's running on a meeting. What's going on, man? And then the guy's like low tone. I'll continue on with the call, and I'll kind of match a little bit, but I don't go all the way down.
No.
But I'm just like, I'm not like gonna call him out just yet. I'm gonna go, tell me about yourself. And if the guy goes, man, I run a $5 million a year company, I'm looking to get in wholesaling, I will match his tone. I won't call that guy out on his energy. I'll let Eric do that once he gets in front of Eric. But if the guy's like, I'm 20 years old, I've never wholesaled, I work at a grocery store, I'm like, dude, can I coach you for a minute? When I picked up the phone, you were super low energy. One thing that Eric will tell you, whether you start coaching with him or not, is you gotta be fired up, dude. You gotta have that dog in you. Do you have that dog in you? All right, my man, just checking. You see, I know I'll continue on to it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because I'm not gonna like, even if that guy's low tone at first, because I've done that. I've made every mistake, by the way, on the phone, I promise you. Like, for every $500,000+ month I've done, I've fucked off about $10 million to try to learn how to do it by calling freaking CEOs, Fortune 500 CEOs, saying, "What up, big dog? Why are you freaking being so freaking soft, bro?" And then they're like, "Oh, I own a $5 million company." I'm like, "I'm a retard, man. I'm sorry. I'm gonna send you a postcard. What course do you want? I'll put it in your account free, bro." You know. So intro goes like this: authority. And this goes back to becoming the person you need to be.
Yep.
Because if you're not the person you need to be, you can fake authority, which a lot of you will have to fake it at first. But once you have your first 100K month, where you do 100K in revenue here, and once you have your first 250 and 500K month, you could greet them with low energy, high energy, mid energy, and they'll know that you're that guy because they can feel it. Like, people have a vibration, right? So. But authority, whether you got to fake it or it's real, you want to have authority over the client because you're advising them. Even if they are in other businesses and they've made money and they're extremely intelligent, your shit is wholesaling. Wholesaling real estate is what he's the GOAT at. There's nothing they can say that will tell them that they know more about wholesaling than him. Does that make sense? And if they ever get into a dick swinging competition, you don't fight back to him. You compare it to Eric. You go, dude, that's awesome. Because some people will be like, dude, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing a million a year in wholesaling. Dude, that's awesome, man. There's good, great, unstoppable. Eric was doing Eric actually told me the other day, we were talking, he almost slowed down when he hit 7 figures, but he decided he wanted to be unstoppable and he wanted to continue to run after new mountains because that's how humans work. If you're not growing, you're dying. Would you agree? Okay, so my question is, are you deciding, are you wanting to stay at that million, or did you get on the phone with us because you want to figure out how to go to that 3 million? Like, you want to take it to that next level. You want to go from good to great to unstoppable. See what I mean?
Yep.
See, I immediately took it to Eric. I'm not going to go, dude, I'm Matt, bro. My first wholesale deal was like $500,000. Because you had a crazy deal, right?
Yeah, it is.
See, like, I'm not going to do that though. I'm going to put it all back to Eric, right? And then every time I do that, it's going to increase, in their eyes, it puts Eric a little bit higher than them.
Yeah.
A little bit higher. And it makes them a little bit more willing to pay money to get in front of Eric. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then when they walk into this office, it makes them a little bit more intimidated to meet him. And that's your job as working under Eric, is to make him look good. Make him a fucking savage. You know what I mean? So intro, and then what I'm doing on the intro is I'm hitting them at first with like the authority, the fire, the energy, and then I'm going to frame the call. So right after I say, "Hey Matt, it's Brendan with Eric Klein's office. I wanted to reach out. I saw you texted him and reached out for reached out about the summit coming up. Is that right? Awesome, dude." And then I go into the frame. Well, the first thing I want to do, I'm one of Eric's coaches. I was a student of his, crushed it with his wholesale training. He's the GOAT. They call him the GOAT for a reason. I want to ask you a little bit about yourself and your business. and then we can figure out what's going to be the best move for you. Is that cool? Awesome. That's a frame. That's a very simple frame. It says, I'm going to ask you some questions. That way, if you make $2 a month, I don't try to sell you a ticket to the summit. That's basically what you're saying. And that way, if you make $100,000 a month, I don't try to sell you a baby-ass program that's not going to solve your problems, right? So I frame it. They say, that's cool. And then I go right into the relationship. That's intro. That's very simple. It's like the greeting, and then it's the frame. That's all it is. And then I go, okay, cool, man. So first things first, dude, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, where are you from? And I'd write this down. This is the customer profile. Where are you from? How old are you? How many kids do you have? How much money are you earning right now? What job are you doing right now? Things like that.
Which are all great things for us to know
Yeah.
in order to help somebody.
Exactly.
Pain points throughout all of that.
Yep.
You bring my kids into something, it's game over.
Yep. Exactly. And that goes, I'm getting right into that. This is like how we crush it. This is how we make sure everybody that reaches out that had an itch ends up becoming committed. That's the goal. Because when they reach out, they have an itch about the program. Like they're seeing Eric's stuff and they're knowing that watching the YouTube is not getting them the results they want. So they feel like Eric can help. You're gonna be the medium between if that person gets helped and changes their life or not. That's just how it works, right? So you can write those down, and there's plenty more you could go into. And I would say for this specific program, this specific industry that you guys are selling in, like I don't necessarily go like, I'll go, where do you live at? How many kids? How old are you? Those are things I'm looking for, right? And me and him were talking about this yesterday about how Andy has been able to arm us with word tracks. So no matter what scenario they say, we have a comeback to it, rebuttal. So if I'm on the phone and I go, how old are you? 18. Bro, that's awesome. You have nothing holding you back. You got no kids, nothing. Like you're ready to go all in. Like most people don't even start trying to kill it in life until they're in their late 30s or 40s, and it's almost too late. You're right on time. How does that feel? You're ready to crush it? Like you're ready to go all in? Awesome, dude. That's badass. See what I mean? But the guy goes, I'm 50. Dude, that's awesome. You know what I've learned about 50-year-olds? You've lived a lot of your life. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. Am I right? Most guys I deal with your age are super decisive because they don't want to waste any more time. They want to get right to success. Am I correct? See what I mean? See how like there's both?
Yeah.
I don't have kids. You got nothing holding you back. I got kids. You got a purpose. See what I mean? You want to make every one of them feel like they're especially qualified to train with Eric Klein.
Yeah.
And I would even say that on the phone. I'll give you 2 quick things you can say. Number 1 is, you know what we've learned. This is a really good one. You know what we've learned. So you ask the guy, tell me about yourself. And what will happen a lot of times when you ask that, it's like an Uno wild card. Sometimes you'll say, tell me about yourself. And they'll go, well, man, I grew up in Idaho. And at 2 years old, freaking my parents got divorced. And then I got shipped to Iran. And they'll go on this tangent and you just let them talk. Like, dude, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. How was that for you? Like, you just let them talk, right? If they go past 5 minutes or 10 minutes and like be like, okay, bro, I got you. This is badass, dude. Oh, well, let me ask you a quick question. You know what I mean? But you want to let them tell you about that stuff. And then you say, bro, you know what we've learned over here? We have learned that the people that come from nothing can end up with the most. That's just a really good word track to say. And just that first part, you know what I've learned. It's a good way to overcome objections. It's a good way to just kind of bounce off what other people say, right? Because like, imagine this. You get to the end of the call where you're going to close, and they say, dude, I like the program, like I want to join the elite program, but I want to wait. What do you say? You say, bro, you know what we've learned? We've learned that in this wholesale real estate game, it's not about what it costs to do training, it's about what it costs not to do training. You see how I use that, you know what we've learned is like a line to like start a rebuttal. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So you know what I've learned is a really good one. And then another one is, dude, you are, I want to tell you something real quick. You are especially qualified to train with Eric. I'll tell you why. You just go into it. You know what you're going to say? You're going to say the reasons that they gave you about their personal life. Why? They're going to go, why? Because you're 43. You're going to read it all back to them. You've got 3 kids. You're like Eric Klein's twin brother. We should just, fly you out here and sit you down with this tattoo guy. You know, you make jokes like that too. Like, you know what we always say, like on the phone, I'm like, dude, we're going to fly out. When you fly out here, one thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure and shave your head bald, bro. You and Andy are like twin brothers, man. And it just makes people laugh, right? And then sometimes I'm like, dude, if you keep talking with that low tone, me and Andy might just fly out to your freaking dealership and put you in a chokehold of success. How's that sound, man? Is that what you need right now? You need a little chokehold of success, dog? All right. You know what I mean? It's little stuff like that. Like I would be saying that. I would honestly use that.
Yeah.
I would be like, I'd be like, dude, you're like Eric's twin brother, man. And we might just fly out. While you're out here, we might just take you to the tattoo shop. Give you the Eric Klein special. We might just throw it in with the elite package, bro. You know, just make little jokes like that, right? But, so I get the relationship, and I got the age, all the pain points. And then I go, okay, this is awesome. Now, here, actually, let me go back. I get that information, and this is specifically for wholesaling. You want to ask them deals, like how experienced they are in wholesaling. Okay, bro, so let me make sure I got this straight. You're 43, got 3 kids, you live in Alabama. Let me ask you this, man. You said you're working at freaking a car lot right now, making $100,000 a year. How experienced are you in wholesaling? How many deals a month are you currently doing? What's your biggest frustration with wholesaling right now? What's the biggest thing you feel like Eric is going to be able to help you with? You know what I mean? Questions like that, because I feel like as I was kind of like, you know, like driving over here, I was wondering, what are some good questions to ask? Because you don't just want to skip over that part. You want to know that, right? Because that's very important for like how you guys qualify people.
Yep.
So put that in there on the back of the personal details. So you get their personal details, and then you get those questions out of the way, and then you go, all right, bro, this say you move from the intro to the relationship to the move stage. You go, all right, bro, so let me get this straight. Just so I got this right. You're 26, you live in Arizona, you've got no kids, you've got a girlfriend, a wife, and you're doing about 3 deals a month in wholesaling. Is that correct? Got it. And then you go into the move stage. Now we're on part 3, right?
And the only way you can actually do what he just said is if you're engaged in the phone call and you're taking notes down and you're actually listening. Because we can come in here and just go through the hamster wheel of telling them exactly what the elite program is about.
Yep.
But if we don't truly know anything about them, it's even hard to create the picture at the end of why they need it. Now you're just pitching them on the elite, and not really talking to them about why they're even on the phone with us. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
And that would be having a pen and paper with you, man, 26. Yeah. Car lot for 3 years. We talk to a lot of people in the car industry, solar industry, engineers. Been an engineer for 26 years.
Yep.
130 grand, 2 kids. One's out of school, one's still in school. Like, you have all that. Then you can, like he said, loop back around, and you can say that, but dude, without writing it down, you're never gonna go back to it.
Yep. I freak people out at the Elliott Group because they'll be like, hey, your client, we're gonna move his meeting to next week. Can I get his email? And I'm like, yeah, it's admin@erickklein.com. And they're like, what's his phone number? I'm like, 919, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, how the fuck do you know that? I'm like, dude, I know everything about Eric. I know everything about all my clients. I know every detail because it's all important. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And like later on in the call, when you circle back to looping and you know a small detail they said, they're like, dude, this motherfucker really cares. You know what I mean? Like if they drop a name to their kid or a place they grew up and you bring that up, it like hits a special spot in their heart. Here's another thing. There is a magical string attached from their heart to their wallet. I'd write that down. There is a magic string from a customer's heart to their wallet. They will not buy from you until you get to their heart. That's the way you're going to get everybody to buy. So Andy used to always say like, and this is the move stage, right? So after you finish up with the relationship part, you go into the move stage. The goal is to strike them in the heart. So again, I go back and I go, all right, man, so you're X age, you got Y amount of kids, X, Y, Z, all this stuff. Got it, man. Now, I want to ask you a question. And I say, you know what we've learned is a good one? Now I'm transitioning to the move stage, right? I could say, you know what we've learned? I could say, you know what I love about your story? I can say, can I tell you something? You're especially qualified to train with Eric. I can say any one of those things to start going into this move stage. My goal with the move stage is to strike them in the heart and make them understand why they really want to take action on the program. Like dig underneath the surface level relationship stuff, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I go, you know what I love about your story, man? You seem like you're an underdog. Would you say you're an underdog? And then get them to accept it. Yes, I am. Well, since you're an underdog, see what I did? Would you say you're a hungry guy? Yeah. Well, since you're a hungry guy, you see what I mean? Well, would you say you're an underdog? Yes, I'm an underdog. Well, dude, you know what? Since you said that you're an underdog, you are perfectly qualified to train with Eric because he's the biggest underdog out there. You know what he wants to do? He wants to help guys like you become a hero to your friends, your family, your coworkers. He wants to help you become an entirely new person. By the time you get done with this elite program, we're going to have to send you a new birth certificate. That's how much you're going to recreate yourself. Is that what you're looking for? You see what I mean? So that's a good one. And also, like, dude, if you guys are really tuned in, you'll remember these jokes.
I'm writing them all down. Let me ask you a question, just to be brutally honest. Who has wrote down what he's saying? Dude, I'm sitting here, I got 4 pages of notes. And he's spitting in, this guy's doing $500,000 a month. I got all of his jokes written down. Chokehold to success, Eric Klein special tattoo package. Is anyone writing this shit down? And here's the reason why. I'm sitting here like, holy fuck, this is my aha moment. And if you guys aren't taking full advantage of literally everything coming out of this guy's mouth, you will never get to the next level. Because this is simply transactional. I'm learning, dude, I'm 15 years into the game. I'm 20 years older than this dude. I'm sitting here 100% a student to this game right now. My ego is fucking sitting out in the parking lot right now. And I'm like, dude, I can't take enough notes. I feel like I'm back when I had to get up and walk out of college because I couldn't keep up with the fucking teacher on the projector screen. And I'm like, fuck, I ain't gonna get the fucking test right. That's how I feel right now. Because, dude, I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, I'm playing my last phone call back in my head. And I'm like, fuck, I could have said that if I would have framed this thing the right way. If I would have asked about the fucking engineer's kids. Dude, he told me he had 2 kids. I didn't even acknowledge it. I went right back and I talked about the elite program. Dude, this Eric fucking Klein tattoo special, dude, I will be prostituting the shit out of that word track right? That moves the needle in this room.
Facts.
This is needle moving information. Dude, you gotta get everything dialed in. And what he is explaining here, if we go all the way back to the person you will become, the people you will help, the money you will make. He's literally going over all of them, the money, and dude, you get all this fucking together. I can get on a call and I can almost force someone just because of me getting on the phone with them and them hearing my voice.
Yeah.
But this right here takes this entire table to a new stratosphere. And I do not take this lightly of the information that's been given out here. So let's keep rolling.
Well, let's go. Move stage, baby. Let's go.
Move.
Nothing like that Eric Klein fire. Let's fucking go. Tattoo parlor. I love that shit. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. So when I first started, when I first heard another coach say, I think it was the Twins I heard say that. They're like, bro, they were trying to close the GM down, right? They're like 25 grand they were going to fly out there. This was 3 years ago, so we do a lot for 25 grand. Dude, they were like, Tony, come on, bro. They're like, it was the GM of the stories. They're like, we're going to freaking fly out there. We're going to fly Spirit just when we get off the plane, we're pissed off. So that way when we come in your store, we want to rip all your sales guys' head off. And I was like, I love that. Literally the next call I was on, I was like, bro, come on. If you don't buy the seminar ticket, I'm going to fly Spirit Airlines to your house. So I'm pissed off, put you in a chokehold of success, and then we're going to get you out to the seminar, big dog. They closed it.
Yeah.
And I was like, how the fuck did that close it? But freaking talking about their family didn't work. It's really weird, But the combination, like, you got to think about this. Here's your disadvantage on the phone. You're not sitting in person with them, right? Yeah. But if you can get them to laugh or feel a gut punch, if you can get them to feel something over the phone, now you're dangerous. Now you can influence them. You see what I mean? That's why the move stage is so important, because if I go, dude, the elite program's 10 grand, you said you want a wholesale, they're just taking a phone call. There's zero pressure. But if I can get them to laugh, and then now all of a sudden they're like engaged in the phone call, they're not thinking about what's going on around them, now I've got them eating out of my hand, I'm not eating out of their hand. You see what I mean? So the move stage, it's like I can use any of those transitions, and I can say, you know what I've learned? I've learned that underdogs do the best in Eric's program. You said something to me that really stuck out. You said that when you grew up, you were always like counted out. You probably have a lot of people that doubt you. Well, you know what Eric likes to do with people who doubt him? He likes to burn their freaking eyes out. Is that what you want? Okay. Well, I'm going to give you, and here's a frame that you can put on people before you present a product. I'm going to give you a play to run. And if you run this play, we are going to turn decades into days together. That means that what Eric learned over the past 15 years, he's going to teach it to you in the next 90 days. You are going to be a lethal weapon. I'm going to have to mail you 5 new pairs of pants to put all your cash in. I got never-ending jokes, by the way. I just can't. It's all just a matter of interchanging each one of them, each phone call. You'll hear me say all of them probably 100 times a day. But they don't get old, dude. They work. They're fun, and it's cool. But yeah, so all I'm doing when I'm moving them is I'm finding one thing. I'm finding one thing, and I'm clinging onto it as hard as I can. So whether it's that they were an underdog, whether it's that they had a drug addiction, whether it's that they have kids, I'm trying to like find their number one pain point. Like we always used to say this when Andy used to train us, he'd say, the customer has a castle. They have a guard over themselves. And there's a tiny hole somewhere in that castle. And if you find the hole, you're going to close them every single time.
Love that.
Because like you have these guys, and like they're aware when you call them that you're going to try to sell them a program. But what makes you stand out is that you know how to like really engage their heart. Does that make sense? So you find the hole in the castle and you attack it. So like that's why I ask so many questions in the relationship stage, is I'm trying to figure out what's their main thing they keep talking about. That's where intuition comes in too. And that's also where just maturity comes into play too, because even though some of you guys don't have kids and things like that, you got to be able to connect with people on that level. You got to understand what's important to people at certain ages. You know what I mean? So another thing I can do during the move stage is, it's like, let me give you an example. On that last little like ramble I gave you where I told you he wants to burn their eyes out. That would be for a guy who maybe is younger. Does that make sense? If it's an older guy, I might be like, one of the things that you might know about Eric, you might not, is that he's got a son named Kai. One of the things that motivated him a lot was that his son Kai is losing a lot of weight. And when he decided to go beast mode, his kids followed him, because your kids aren't going to become what you're not. So is one of the things that you're really fired up about becoming a great person so that you can motivate your kids to be better? Yeah, bro. And then you just go, dude, tell me more about that, man. Tell me more about that. That's inspiring, dude. You know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to make sure you really got your heart into this, because Eric's goal is not, I'm going to use the same joke. Eric's goal is not just for you to learn how to wholesale, it's for you to become a better person all around. We want to recreate you so much, we literally got to send you a new birth certificate, bro. That's our goal. Very simple. But then my frame, now like that's the move stage, right? So everybody got that? When I go into the present, it's very smooth. I go, okay, bro, you're perfectly qualified to train with Eric. I'm ready to kick some ass. I want to tell you this. I'm going to give you a play to run. And if you run this play, we're going to turn decades into days. And Eric's going to show you how to do what took him 15 years. He's going to show you how to do it in the next 90 days. Is that what you're looking for on this call? Or were you just reaching out for more information? Or were you just reaching out for a little bit of information or a pep talk? And you can frame that different ways you want. Like if this is more of a high level guy and you can tell he's ready to go and he's got a high pain point, you don't have to use that last part, right? But if he's been very dull throughout the phone call, Because sometimes you'll have that. Like not everybody, like I should say this too. Don't draw out your phone calls. Typically, don't drag out the presentation longer than like 12 to 15 minutes. Because
From start to finish?
yeah, because they're like when you get into the presentation,
Okay.
like the presentation of the product, the first 3 stages should take, I would say anywhere from 7 to 12 to 15 minutes max. And the reason I say that is because a lot of guys teach these sales like NLP, NEPQ, all these advanced like sales things. But you got to understand, we're selling to salespeople that have sold before. And when they feel a freaking trap coming, they get the fuck out. So if you're like, how did that make you feel? They're like, who the fucking, can I talk to fucking Eric? Can you give me a fucking pep talk? Like, you got any fire in you, bro? Or are you just going to try to seduce me, you know? So I get into the presentation quick and I go, here's where we need to start, bro. Eric has a program called the Elite Program. And here's how we pitch. And I don't have the Elite Program deliverables memorized, but you guys should take this and implement it. Eric's Elite Program has X amount of pillars. It has 3 pillars. Do you guys close over Zoom or do you guys close over the phone most of the time?
Over the phone, 100%.
100%?
And FaceTime.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's good. So, yeah, because this can all easily be sold over the phone. But if you guys were doing Zooms, I'd go a different route. We can talk about that another day. But for the phone, one thing you want to make really, really clear, the whole goal of the present stage is to explain the value. Explain that, like if you can get really good at just explaining value and relating the value back to their problems, you'll be deadly. So I go, Eric's Elite Program is where you need to start. And what I like to do is I like to slip the price in there somewhere. So I go, Eric's Elite Program has 3 pillars. It's a $10,000 one-time fee. I say that midway through. I don't say that at the end. I don't want to like pull the rabbit out of the hat. I used to always say like some coaching companies, they want to pull the rabbit out of the hat at the very end and the guy's like, I don't have 10 grand. Or the guy's like, oh my God, 10 grand. You want to try to get the price out before 10 minutes on the call. That way you can gauge. Because they might go, oh my, hold on. 10 grand? Like, and you might have even asked them where they were at financially and they might be qualified, but they've never spent that kind of money.
Yep.
Right?
You want to get it out at the beginning of the present stage?
Yeah, very beginning. And then another thing that I should mention this too, I forgot about this. If the guy, like let's say you're doing the relationship stage and you're fact finding a little bit, and you ask the guy like how long you been doing wholesaling. I've been in it for 3 years. Dude, that's crazy. That's a long time. Here's a good question to ask. Have you done any other coaching programs?
Yep.
There's some very important things. Like here's the 3 things you want to run people through to qualify them. You want to qualify people based on their budget. Are they financially qualified? How close do they want to get to Eric? Because just because I have a millionaire's phone number doesn't mean he's going to, invest in Andy. Because he might not like the 6-pack or you're fired thing. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of coaches on our team, like I only work with people that I know follow Andy. Because a lot of coaches on our team, they'll like try to stack all these relationships with people, but they don't even like our brand. And I'm like, why are you bringing that dude in for a podcast? Like he doesn't fucking like us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like none of our core values align. Like why are you just bringing him in because he's got money, you want to close him? Like I don't do that. I bring in people who want to be close to us, So the reason I say that is because if they're not financially qualified, like maybe they got to access credit to buy, but they want to get really close to Eric, dude, they'll spend 10 grand. You guys have probably all sold 10 grand to somebody who doesn't have 10 grand on them at the moment. That person wanted to get close to Eric more than they wanted to hold on to the $10,000. So financially qualified, how close do they want to get to Eric? And then lastly is what's their relationship with coaching like? Have they had previous coaching before? I didn't want to skip over that because that's a big one to know because let's say, especially in real estate, because there's a lot of coaching programs out there and most people honestly need it in order to win in real estate, I would say, because it's very advanced, right? So let's say the guy says, I'm doing, $1 million a year. You go, what other coaching have you done? I've done no coaching. Okay, that's different. Just skip over it. I've done 4 programs. Dude, no way. What programs have you done, right? And guess what I'm trying to find out? How much did you spend for the program? Did you like the program? What did you get from the program? Why are you not doing the program anymore? See what I mean? So like I go, what program have you done? Oh, Carlos Reyes. Really, dude? How was that program?
Yeah, just make sure you add that sound effect in.
How was that one? Oh
That
man.
bag of shit.
Yeah. Hey, clip that one up for a reel. I'm just kidding. Make that one a collab. Just kidding. No, but they're like, oh well, dude, I paid 10 grand, and I got X, Y, Z. Dude, that's awesome. Did you like it? Not really, man. What didn't you like about it? I didn't like that there was no support. So when I'm presenting, I'm going to say, you know how you said when you did that other program, you didn't like that there was no support? My name is Matt Tucker. My first wholesale deal, I did 130 racks. I'm not Eric Klein, okay? But I am in the wholesaling space. I'm obsessed with helping clients win. So throughout this whole 90 days, I'm going to push you like we're running mates, and it's my duty to make sure you're successful with this program. Would that help you have a better experience with our coaching program? Great, because that's what you're going to get. And I have a problem with over delivering, because I'm a giver, not a taker. So if you give us money, I'm going to make sure that I return it to you 100x. By the way, I would always say this on the phone too. You know, one thing Eric's going to do for you, Mitchell, is he's going to ruin the value of money for you. His goal is any dollar you invest with him, he wants to 100x that return. So that way you never look at money the same.
Eric will ruin the value.
Eric
of
will
the dollar.
ruin the value of money for you.
And then what's your response to that? You 100x.
Yeah, he wants to 100x every dollar you give him. Here's another one. The only way to wealth is through self-education.
You're gonna say it. The first one was ruin.
Yep.
The value of money, 100x.
Eric will ruin the value of money for you because every dollar you spend with him, he wants to give you 100 times back.
Yep, exactly. And then the other one is the only way to wealth is through self-education.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
What's your response when you say, oh, have you done coaching? Yeah. Oh, you did that? How much did you spend that 10 grand? How did you like it? If they're like, oh, it's fucking amazing.
Dude, that's
Sometimes
awesome.
I struggle.
Yeah, no,
That
that's
happened
awesome,
yesterday to
dude.
me. Someone said they did it. And
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I was hoping they'd say something bad.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude. Are you still in it, or what made you decide to look at more coaching? Well, I like Eric.
Yeah.
Dude, good, man. Awesome. I just kind of skip over it.
Okay.
And it doesn't really matter. The whole purpose of it, the whole reason you ask that question is because if they spent 10 grand over here, they'll spend it here. They're going to be a lot different clothes than a guy you talk to those two people different. A guy who spent 50 grand in coaching in his lifetime versus a guy who spent 0 is going to be a lot different closing that guy.
Sure.
The 50 grand guy, you know he will close.
Yep.
The guy who spent 0, you're going to have to probably push him really hard, or he's just really on that verge where he's ready to actually take action.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just a gauge is all it is.
Yeah, it's funny because the dinner we went to, and then Don and I went to the Elliott office yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, Don is more than qualified to spend $100,000. More than qualified.
Yeah.
And he has never in his life been to something like that. And he's 34 years old. He's around a ton of high-level individuals.
Yep.
His ego is bigger than his head. And he's got a big head. And it was one of those things where it was the first time he had even entertained taking advice from somebody
Yep.
that could better him.
Yeah.
And there was 100% there was a wall up.
Oh,
That
dude.
slowly, as the day started going, that wall started just literally, but it took time. You know, we weren't talking about a $10,000 package, but we also weren't talking to a guy that was just getting started in his career. He's a multi-millionaire. He manages $500 million for other people. Like he's an established dude, but we did this whole thing, and even on the way out there, and he said when we left, he goes, God damn it, I knew Andy was gonna call me fat. And then, like,
I wish you guys could have sat in that meeting. It was fucking hilarious.
It was the best thing. And he's a dear friend of mine. Love
Yeah.
him to death.
Andy didn't have his nice face on that day.
Yeah.
Did he call him fat?
He literally
Yeah.
called me fat.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I love.
He said he said you probably have sex with the lights off.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God,
I
bro.
loved every second of it because this is why nobody has ever talked to Don like that. And
No.
I was eating it up because
Put him in his place.
because I was paying attention to the whole body language, everything.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I've ever seen my friend not retreat or like, he almost, what's the fucking word? Like,
He wasn't defensive. He was
at all.
Yeah.
He knew every word that was coming out of Andy's mouth was absolute facts.
Yeah.
And he even said, but what I was getting to is, we leave this meeting, and this was an in-person meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And for Don, $100,000 is like 10 grand to a lot of these people. Like, he's got it. Like, this morning he woke up, wired $100,000, and his life does not change at all.
Yep.
At all. It does not change. But we go to smoke a cigar last night, and he was back and forth, and I let him go through his emotions. I'm like, I get it, brother. I get it.
Yeah.
You know, he goes, what if I do this and I don't get what I think I'm going to get out of it? And I'm like, what if that happens? You know what? I know it didn't happen for me.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't think twice about it. Like, literally, I gave him my fucking black Amex and was like, dude, you can just keep this on file. Whatever you guys need from me, you just let me know and run it up. But Don, you've never done something like this. I've been doing this for 13 years, paying people for help. Like, I get the game. It's a life hack. Until you get it, you just don't get it, right?
And that's important. Like, there's two things there. So, first thing is, you notice the difference because Eric's always had mentors. Don's never had a mentor. So a lot easier to talk to Eric about coaching because he's open-minded to it. Whereas Don, even though he's qualified, I'm honestly not going to chase him down. I'm going to be like, dude, you want to do it or not? If he doesn't, I'm not going to bother with it because 37 years of not doing any coaching, like, that's going to be an uphill battle, right? I will build the relationship, but I'm not going to like try to hard close him on it or convince him or anything like that. I need him to change his own mind. But also, the relationship. The reason that it was good for this guy to come by is because when you take care of one person, they'll bring you more people, right? That's why I talk about the last step of the sale is to fulfill and build the relationship, right? So you move on from the move stage, you go into the present. Dude, Eric's program is going to be the elite program. The elite program has 3 pillars, and it works like this. First things first, he's got, and see, I don't know the elite program, so I can't tell you exactly how I pitched it, but I would say, like, I'll give you an example on how I pitch our coaching program, right? I go, dude, our coaching program has 2 pillars. We do Zoom calls. That way Eric can actually coach you live. Because the last thing we want you to do is train on really high level content and then go practice your role playing and ask questions to a person making 50 grand a year. And I always ask people this too. I say, dude, do you think you're more likely to become a millionaire, surround yourself with millionaires, or people who make 50 grand a year? Okay, if you're surrounded by people who make 50 grand a year and you want to be a millionaire, that could be bad for you. That could be a problem for you. Would you agree? Okay, we need to get your circle right, bro. That's what the elite group's going to do, right? But maybe I would break it down like this. We've got the Zoom calls. The idea of the Zoom calls, Eric goes live X amount of days per week, and he actually will answer all your questions and coach you A to Z on how to make 7 figures a year in wholesaling. What's cool about this is you get in close proximity to Eric, you can ask him questions, and he's always there if you need anything. You're going to get coached at the highest level. I will warn you, Eric will not talk to you like a 5-year-old to give you ice cream. He will coach you like a pro athlete. Is that what you're ready for? Because he's very direct and he's very intense, because that's what it takes to win. Pillar 2 is going to be our online training. Eric's going to give you every script, every video, every lesson he's learned over the past 15 years and everything he's learned in wholesaling. All you have to do is train for 30 minutes a day on the online training, whether it's in the morning, middle of the day, or at night. Can you commit to doing at least 30 minutes of training a day? Repetition is going to be very important. Okay, lastly is going to be the community. Eric knows that you're the average of the 5 people. You see how I'm like, and notice this is how I'm pitching them. I'm listing it off, but then I'm going into why it's important, why it plays a role into our program. The community is very important because Eric knows, and I say Eric knows. Eric knows, right? Here's another word track to throw in there. Eric always says, and then insert random quote to close him. Eric always says, losers worry about what if I try it and it doesn't work. Winners say, what if it does work? What if it does work? What if this did work for you? How would that feel? But I always say that, right? Like if somebody's like, man, I need to think about it. Hey, man, I get it. Andy always says, losers are always wondering, what if I try it and it doesn't work? Winners are always wondering, what if I try it and it does work? Where's your head at, bro? How you feeling, bro? How you feeling? Because I know this. I've felt that feeling of wanting to think about it before. There's deciding to do something, not deciding, and then there's being stuck in the middle. The worst place to be is in the middle because you'll always stay exactly where you're at. So let's just make a decision. Do you want to do this or do you not want to do it? It's very simple. See what I mean? That's how I overcome I need to think about it. Because the reason you're where you're at, the reason you're where you're at today is because of the decisions you made 2, 5, 30, 60, 90 days ago. If you're not getting, since you said you're not getting the results you want, it's time to run a new play. Would you agree? Okay, that starts with making different decisions. So let's make a different decision today. And let's go somewhere you've never gone before. Let's make your next thing your best thing. That's Eric's goal. We always say Eric's goal and Eric says. Bro, I need to think about it. Bro, Eric says. See what I mean? Because it's Eric's program. It's Eric's leads. It's Eric's customers. It's Eric's brand. It's like anything you say that starts with Eric says, they're gonna want to know what it is. If you go, well, I always say, bro, I don't know you, dude. I've never even seen you. Where's your YouTube videos at, right? Yeah. So if Jude's on the phone,
so true.
And they're like, I need to think about it, and Jude's like, well, man, when I need to think about it, they're like, I don't fucking care, bro. But if I go, well, dude, Eric always says, or Eric told me, or Eric said, or Eric's goal, they're like, what's Eric's goal? Because you know what you guys have advantage over your clients on? You're close to Eric. They're reaching out because they're interested in Eric. You hang out with them, you get to be around him every day, and people are paying $10,000 daily. Their life savings to be close to the guy. And you guys are with him every single day. So you guys can show up the curtain every once in a while. Dude, Eric always says this. Eric always says that. Eric, when he walks in the office every day, says that. Oh, really? You see what I mean? So.
Yeah.
And then lastly, like I said, the community, because you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most. And that's going to be huge. And I'll tell you this, man. Between those 3 pillars, if you can follow the plan, the blueprint works as long as you'll do the work. All we have to do is run the play and you're going to get the results. So my question is, can you commit to making all of that happen? Okay, got it. Well, like I said, bro, the program's $10,000. This is the close. It's very simple. All I need from you is going to be a credit card to put on file and your email so I can send everything over. What card would you like to put it on? And sometimes if it's like a higher level client, maybe I'll say, how do you want to move forward? How do you want to move forward from here? Where do you want to go from here? You know what I mean? But if it's like I got control of the call, because you'll know. You'll know when you're like in the move stage and the percent stage if you're going to close them. You can go, what card do you want to put it on? And they'll be like 4-2, 4-6 or whatever. Or you can say, how do you want to move forward? If you feel like you're not really sure and you don't plan on pushing them anyway, right? That's it. And then the last one, dude, is fulfill. So like let's say I took their card down, I would say, all right, bro, well, first of all, I want to congratulate you because I'm going to send out your new birth certificate in the mail tomorrow. And literally, I actually, this one doesn't work. This one's for the car business. I used to always say, all right, man, so before we get off the phone, I'm going to get in the mail and I'm going to send out some orange vests to all your coworkers at the car dealership because they're going to be your professional door greeters from now on. And you're just going to be Big Daddy closing all the deals. Are you ready for that? Awesome, dude. Sounds good. I'm going to release, I just need to know that before I release your course to you, to your account. But I don't know. You guys will come up with some crazy ass jokes. You guys are going to be ripping the phones every day and you're going to get in the flow state and you're just going to say the craziest shit. And you'll be like, dude, that was fire. And you're just going to write it down, right?
Yeah.
That's all we did. Like all of this, every bit of this was just a culmination of the past 3 years trying to get on the phones for hours and hours a day and then just recording what works and scrapping what doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
But lastly is just fulfill, right? So I always, after you take their card, the most precious moment, the most important moment is after they pay. It's the most important moment. The quickest way to run this place to the ground would be to lock down a deal and then not follow up with the customer, not take care of them. That'd be the fastest way to fuck everything up. So I take it so serious because I know the future of my income, my family's income, and the future of the Elliott Group lies on the customer experience I deliver to the customer. So I take it so serious. Like whenever someone buys, and I know it's their money too, right? Like I remember what it was like to be scared, and if I would have bought the program and it wouldn't have worked for me, I'd have been fucked, right? So after I take the card, I go, all right, man, well, number one, I want to congratulate you because you just did what 99% of the world's not willing to do, and that's make a bet on yourself. You want to give them a pep talk that makes them feel even better about making the decision.
Yep.
I'll say you're the best investment you could ever make in your life, and you just showed me, and more importantly, you showed Eric that you're committed. And I can tell you this: here's a good one. When I run into the office and tell Eric that you just signed up for his elite program, he's gonna rip the door off the hinges because he's gonna be so freaking fired up that you're gonna be training with him, bro. So and then you say, so here's where we go from here. I've got your card info, I've got your email. I'm gonna process the payment. It's gonna run a one-time fee of 10 grand. I'm gonna email you over the course. You're gonna get the Zoom link reminders 30 minutes, an hour before every day that they go live so that you never miss anything. And I need you to save my cell phone number. That way, if you ever need anything, you can directly reach out to me. This isn't a job for me, bro. This is my life. So if you need anything, I want you to text my number. You got me? I need a verbal commitment. Okay, cool, got it. You train for 30 minutes a day, you show up on the Zooms, I'll be on every single one. If you don't show up on them, I'm gonna fly out to you, put you in a chokehold of success to your house, and you engage in the community and build your network, because if you get your circle right, everything's gonna go together, okay? So I gotta roll, I got another call, dude, but I'm super fired up on you, okay? Any questions for me before I get off here? All right, good job, bro. I'm super fired up. I'll talk to you. Let's go ahead and set a follow-up call right now while we're on the phone. And I do that sometimes too. Whether they buy or don't buy, I'll be like, let's set a follow-up date. Let's put some on the calendar, because Eric's blowing up right now, bro. Like, we're getting so many appointments and inbound texts that, like, if you don't make a decision right now, it'll be really hard for me to get back in touch with you because of how many calls I got to get on. For real, bro. But even if I sell them, sometimes I'll book something on the calendar just so that way there's a follow-up because if I put a task in the CRM, I may or may not get to it, but if I make them rebook on my calendar while they're on the call for like 3 days from now, I'll say, bro, when you click on my Calendly, it's going to show there's 2 days. The next 2 days there's some slots, but don't pick those because those are going to be big work periods, so I'll be really distracted. Pick one 72 hours from now, book any time on Thursday, and then I'll reach out to you so I can answer your questions. I want to hear how you're liking the program, okay? See what I mean? And that ensures a good customer experience. If you get a text in the next 72 hours, you want to make sure and get back to them like we talked about, but you probably won't hear from them. And then you'll hop on in 72 hours, fired up, ready to go, you know?
Yeah. That's great.
Love it. That was flawless.
Let's go.
Well, I can tell you what. That's a good fucking 5, 6, 7 pages of notes.
Let's go.
Any questions? Takeaways?
Man, I think seats broke. There's a ton in here, but I'll just say one of the last things you said about, like, with our program, like getting the courses and setting it up as a pillar where you're telling them do the training 30 minutes a day. That's been a disconnect for us because we get a lot of text and calls and questions on the Zooms that are absolutely in the course.
Yeah,
And it's
exactly.
like setting them up to, hey, can you commit to 30 minutes a day through this? It's just setting them up for more success.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a good base for them to then jump on the calls and have higher level conversations.
Exactly.
And Eric's gonna expect you to do 30 minutes a day,
Yeah.
every single day. Can you commit to that?
Yeah. Yeah, and I like to get them to commit, and then also, like I used to have set up in my Go High level where literally it would schedule after I marked them as sold, it would send out a text that said, hey bro, it's Brendan, just wanted to remind you, make sure you're going through the training and you don't skip ahead and you finish each video front to back. And you take notes with a pen and piece of paper as you go. I used to put that in there, and it was like, that's important, man. Like, people need to know that. Like, it's kind of weird, but like, people just need that kind of guidance. You know what I mean? It's like just sending that text of like, go through each video, don't skip ahead, was like helpful to them. You know?
Do you ever send like handwritten letters and mail it to them and stuff like that? Like, I know you said to send gifts, but like if somebody signs up for Elite, like a handwritten letter with a notepad and a pen or something.
You know, honestly, like I need to do better. I send out a lot of like mail to like the higher level clients, but what I actually do is I like buy digital gift cards for like a steakhouse, because that's like an easy gift to do. And I'll just email it to them. I'll be like, hey bro, check your email, I got you a gift. And I'll pick like Dominic's or somewhere nice and just do like anywhere from like $200 to $500 or something like that, you know?
Love it.
Yeah, that was something that we hadn't talked about in our office. Was we called it Bafu, and that was just, if you had someone like right on the edge, sometimes like, hey, I'm going to dinner right now. Hey, where are you going to dinner? And we'd buy their dinner or buy their. It was just like savage moves to just like, make yourself stand out. And then if they buy a, you know, our programs are 10, 18, 34,000, whatever. They sign up for something 34,000. They one pay it with you. Okay, you just made however much money on that. Get them gear. You're gonna know like what to buy them. Send it to their house. You Uber Eats them something. Send them a coffee. Like that's huge in like what we talked about is the pipeline and the follow up. That just continues to build their relationship. They're not gonna talk to someone who they don't have a relationship. They're gonna think back. Okay, why would I not just call the guy that bought me a coffee?
Totally.
Sent me something like that. It's just there's just gonna be a no brainer for them.
The person who will reinvest the most into their business is the one who's gonna win. Like, you know, I don't even want to like. I'll come in here and train as much as we need to, and make calls and whatever we got to do. But one thing we can talk about later on is like social media. But I feel like right now we just need to get really good on the phone.
I agree.
Because I don't want you guys going on social media. Because like if someone does under 100 grand of revenue in our company, they're not allowed to post on social media. They're not allowed to post because Andy's like, dude, you're not going to be a fraud. You're not going to be telling people how to win when you're getting your freaking face kicked in. And even the other guys who are making 20 grand in our company a month are considered getting their face kicked in, right? So like for now, let's focus on that. But as you scale, like Eric would love to see some of you guys do weekly Zoom calls with all your clients. That's like what I used to do when I first started to build a pipeline. I think Jared remembers I used to do this all the time. I did a weekly Zoom call. We still do. We ended up, so like we had a program that was very similar to the Go Gang when we first started. We still have it. It's $99 a month. And it was a weekly Zoom call with Andy. It was a once a week call. And then slowly we phased him out. We put other coaches in place. And now it's 5 Zooms a week. And Andy's not even a part of the program anymore. But what you guys could do is like because all you guys do is sell and deliver. So you run your own schedule. And if you start doing $250,000 a month, I bet if you show up to work at 10 a.m. one day, Eric's not going to be like, where the fuck you at? You know what I mean? When you're winning, you work the C schedule. See you when I see you, you know? Yeah. But like I would do a Zoom call. I'll do a weekly Zoom call for all your clients. It's a good way to like get in front of them and build the value, because if Matt gets all of if let's say Matt has a book of business of 100 people that have bought from him, and he learns how to get them to understand that he can provide value too, then it increases the value, right? Because like when Eric does business with us, Andy says, hey, I'm going to do X, Y, Z with you, but also he's like, hey, Brennan's going to do this for you too. and that adds more value. And if I was a retard, then Eric would be like, well, I don't want him to come to my office. I don't want him to freaking help me plan an event. Like, but since me and him built a relationship, we started to realize, hey, this guy's young, but he knows what he's talking about. He works hard. He's a student of the game. He's like, that's valuable to me. So like whenever we release bigger packages, like whenever Eric creates a $50,000 program, if Matt's been doing weekly Zoom calls extra with all his elite members, he goes, and they're on the fence about the 50K program, he goes, dude, if you do this, I'll do this with you. I'll do a one-on-one with you every week if you sign up. And if they see that as valuable, that stacks the offer. You have that advantage over other coaches, right?
Yeah.
So anything to get better at speaking, build your value, build your brand with your customers is like super important. So like I'd love to see all of you guys doing a weekly call, because like he's got a Wednesday call. You could do Monday, you could do Tuesday, you could do Thursday, you could do Friday. And everybody's got a call. And you're like, what do I talk about? I don't know. You just figure it out, dude. Go in one of these notebooks right here. Go in this one.
Yeah, that's what I did.
You got
legit.
8 weeks of Zoom calls right here. You know? But yeah, and then like, cause dude, I mean, I pay almost $100,000 and like reinvesting back into my business. Just in me, just in a videographer, and then just in help with VAs and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Eric won't let me buy him anything. I bought him courtside tickets one time, but you know, he won't even let me buy dinner.
That's it.
I try though. I'll pay you one day though.
I had never done anything like send someone anything. And the other day there was a guy, Fernando, he's broke as shit. And he was telling me about how he takes like, his transportation's $60 a day to get to his job because it's an hour and 10 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, dude, I haven't had money to take the train home today. I was like, are you serious? He was like, yeah. And I was like, his phone number was connected to his Zelle. And I was just like, check your phone. He's like, I can't believe you just did that, blah, blah, blah. And 2 weeks later, he's like, hey, I got my credit card in the mail. I have my deposit for the elite program.
Yeah.
And ran it.
There
And I was
you go.
like, damn.
Yeah, dude.
Because
See,
after I said it, I was like, I wonder what's going to happen
Yeah.
with this. Like, I hope he remembers this. But I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? If he doesn't, whatever.
and see,
But-
clients like that, dude, you never let him go. You
Yeah.
never let that guy down.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so important.
I agree.
But dude, we'll keep doing meetings like this. But I feel like this was a good just foundation.
Amazing, dude.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Amazing. Appreciate you coming out here.
Absolutely.
Let's give it up for Brendan!
Let's go. We're gonna build this bitch, bro.
We are the largest growing wholesale training company in the world.
Yep. Couple more things. So onboarding.
Yes.
When people walk in, you guys fuck them up.
Yep.
Like if they're local, give them a tour. If you talk to them on the phone and they're local, you wouldn't mind if they gave them a tour, right?
Nope.
Bring them in. Say, dude, come by our office. Some haters like to say Eric's a fake guru. Well, I got 10,000 square foot to show you it's not.
Come say it to his face.
Yeah, exactly. So what I want to do is bring you by the office so you can see that he's actually a full-time coach.
Yeah.
And he's a real deal. When you see it, dude, it'll make a lot of sense. It's freaking badass. And you bring people in, you can literally sit them down in an office, have a one-on-one conversation. Look, phones are sick, but closing in person is way easier, 100 times easier. If you get good on the phone, you are a savage in person.
Yeah.
You're a savage. And people can't run. They can't hang up on you.
Yeah.
See, if I'm in a meeting and you present the elite program, anybody got hung up on the elite program?
Yeah.
If you don't have your hand raised, you're a lying motherfucker. Fire him. I'm just kidding. No. But when they're sitting, but at the event, when you're sitting down with them, if you're like, hey, bro, Eric wants you to join his elite program, what are they gonna do? Run out of the room?
Yeah.
Get up and run?
Yeah.
They're gonna be real with you. They're gonna be like, dude, I'm broke, or dude, I'm scared, or whatever. Like Matt closed a $15,000 deal?
25 at the.
25.
Yeah.
Right there in our office.
Yeah.
You know, I came in and I poked on him a little bit, but I think Matt had it closed regardless. So
Now they're coming to Cabo.
Yeah.
To the event Eric's going to.
nice.
They're like, yeah,
But yeah,
they're
like
all in.
yeah, for sure. So like in person, if they're in these are just extra tips. If they're in person, bring them in the office. We close 99% of people we bring to our office.
Yeah.
It's
So
like
if they're local, let's get them in here.
Yep. Another one. Here's another joke. I'm gonna give you another joke. All right, bro. Eric's gonna make you so good on the phone that when these homeowners get on the phone with you, it's like Alcatraz. No one escapes.
Yeah.
Alcatraz, no one escapes.
No one escapes.
People love that one, bro. I tell them, like, bro, on the car lot, once you take this training, dude, they're going to call you Alcatraz. No one escapes. But the office will close everybody. I would, if I had to focus on anything right now in this office, if I wanted to be number one for the rest of the year, I would sell out the event. I sell the most tickets to any event. That's how I became number one, is I sell out every event. I had like 75 people at the Patrick Bet-David event, and let's just say a good portion of $500,000 in revenue plus came from, almost $500,000 alone came from that event. Just people being mind blown and wanting to do more business. Because events deliver the experience. So like,
that's where I started.
Yep. The smartest thing you could do is sell out the event. Even if someone could buy the elite program, I mean, sell them whatever, but get everybody in your pipeline, get them to the event, because the experience is going to close them on Eric Klein for life, not just like on and off. Like the 30 minutes a day training, showing up on the Zoom calls, they won't do that as much, but once they come to the event, they'll show up. It's so weird. Like that's our key to retention, customer retention, is the event game. So bring them in, onboard them properly. Like even if you just bring people in for tours throughout the day, you guys, all four of you, like got to learn how to tap into like a next level of energy. Like, because I'm not a very energetic dude, but when people come to the office, I'm like, let's go. Like I'll get all crazy and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, we got to onboard people properly. Yeah. So like at this event, we'll probably have another meeting before then where we'll talk all about the event. But like all you guys need to be suited up, ready to like I'll be here. We'll freaking do a creed, get everybody fired up just like we do. Like a lot of people are like, dude, I don't like that. That shit works, bro. People need energy. People
fucking works.
These people that come in from these events, they are miserable.
Yep.
Everybody around them, whenever they try to have energy or they start to try to do better for themselves, people tell them they're losers and they stand out and they're alone. So when they come in here, they need to feel like they're at home and they need to feel like celebrated. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to say that because like I could see you guys closing a lot of deals by just bringing people in the office, and then also, you know, going back to like the revenue's great, but like every detail is important. Like onboarding people properly, keeping the office clean, like at the event showing everybody massive love that walks in here as they walk in the door. You know what I mean? Like literally wait downstairs for them, everything like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's all important. But I think we should have another meeting before the event.
Yeah.
And cover the event game, because you guys, if ran correctly, now that we've got a team in place, like you guys should each do $250,000 in October plus, like all of you, and like at the event probably over $100,000 for each one of you.
Yeah.
I would say. Like, and you should be, I'll show you how to take people in here and have a one-on-one sit down with them throughout the event, because we do that at events all the time. Like while I'm at that Patrick Bet-David event, I literally grabbed a guy who's a business owner. I said, what do you think of the event? He's like, this is fucking crazy. And I'm like, dude, what do you think about the brotherhood? He's like, let's do it. Because now he sees that we're real. So like you guys need to do the same thing. You guys need to identify who's got seminar eyes. Like who's sitting in the crowd like this and like fucking with their phone. And then who's like looking at Eric like, let's go. And then after lunch, you come up to him and you go, bro, Eric told me at lunch I need to talk to you because he said you got those fucking crazy eyes. Like you're ready to do some big shit. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. And I would sell out the event. And if you talk to a guy, let's say you got your list of the event here. Let's say you got a list, right? As you put people on the list, say, who is this guy? Like, is this a potential elite member or even more? And then prepare the weekend around networking with that guy. Take him out golfing, go to dinner or whatever. Build a relationship. Like look at this like the long game. Like really build a long-term partnership with some of these people. But if you like just focused on who you're bringing to the event and you've created a list of like the big dogs that you know are coming out, say you got 5 of them, I will personally guarantee you we'll do $100,000 in revenue with you in one day. And then all of you will be fucking believers after that. You know what I mean?
Couldn't agree more.
So.
Love it.
Thank you.
Ready to kick some ass, dudes?
Let's go.
Yeah? Let's fucking rock and roll, dude.
Let's go fuck them up, bro. Absolutely, bro. We're just getting started.
We just getting started, baby.
We just getting started. One of the ways Andy created a movement is like he calls it the Elliott Army, the Elliott Group. You could call it the Klein Army, or whatever you wanted to call
Figure
it.
it out.
But yeah, and then like brainstorm on that, and then the creed too, because like we'll have another meeting where we focus more on the seminar game.
Yep.
I just want to give them like the foundation.
Yeah.
But the seminar game, I'll walk them through because I really want them to understand onboarding. Like onboarding means when people walk in, whether there's 4 people or 40, they need to go, hey, throw them in the air. And if it's like a really high level player, we need to get them trained up to be like I'll walk them through. I'll be like, watch, you walk downstairs, Eric walks in, hey, you bring him upstairs, you give him a tour, all that stuff, and then
all of it.
Yeah, and then throughout seminar day, just watching the crowd, knowing your people, knowing who they are, knowing how they're feeling, all that stuff, dude.
I love it.
Yeah, we'll fucking kill it.
Yep, dude, all of that, a lot of that was new for me.
Really?
Well, dude, I'm used to slanging, getting someone out of a timeshare, and then out of a fucking house.
Yeah.
Like that's been my career for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then coming into coaching, it's easy for me to jump on when someone hears my voice.
Right.
It's easy for them to want to do business with us. But dude, coaching, all those word tracks and shit, that was all new to me.
Yeah. It's awesome, dude.
Yeah, it's a different customer.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I love teaching it to people. And what's funny is I'm so excited about all of this.
Yeah.
Because we've worked with coaches in the past and I've taught it to people, but no one's ever wanted to go as big. No one's ever had actual good intentions with it. So I'm going to give your team all the game.
Yes.
Everything that we do, I'm going to give it to them.
That's the plan. I mean, dude, literally, I came here with one person and got a 9,000 square foot office.
Yeah.
My intentions is, and I told the owner of the building.
Yeah.
Because those 2 companies down there, he's got equity in.
Yeah.
And I told him his name was John. I was like, hey, John, what's going on? My name is Eric Klein. Obviously, I'm your new tenant. I said within 12 months, my goal is to occupy this entire building with my name on the outside of it. That's how I introduced myself to him.
Nice.
Literally, bro.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, he was like, well, I'm building another building right over here. I can take these 2 companies out of here. So that might work. And I was like, dude, that's my goal. Just to let you know.
Literally when we pulled up, I was like, he needs to figure out how to own this bitch.
Yeah, dude.
That's going to be next level. This is a good spot because you got space for the seminar, parking. You got parking everywhere.
Dude, we can run right. The run can be right there. There's a track that goes around that water.
Nice.
Dude, it's set up perfect.
I asked Shiloh when we got here, if we get everybody in here in October and we do the creed, is it gonna how are they gonna
all good, baby.
I refuse to lose, the floor of the fucking
All that's your thing, bro.
Oh yeah, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. See you, dude.
In the middle of the field, throw me a bomb, throwing that bitch like quarterback.